talk about our trip this past weekend down the Lost Coast Trail.
Yeah, so last week we got a bunch of fast packing gear that we needed in order to really do our first fast packing trip. And we really wanted to test it out. So we started looking around, we realized that it was a 3-day weekend. We hadn't really planned anything in advance. So most of this stuff was booked or reserved already. And most places you need permits or reservations for, so we were kind of limited, but we looked around and we found that our best option was probably the southern section of the Lost Coast. The full Lost Coast Trail goes about 60 miles up the Northern California coastline, and it's kind of broken into 2 sections. The northern section goes through the Kings Range Wilderness, and that section is a lot more popular, so it gets booked a lot quicker, and of course this weekend it was reserved. But the southern section is the Sinkion Wilderness, and it's a lot less popular, probably because it's a little bit more rugged, and a lot more elevation, and just kind of not as well
maintained, I would say, yeah.
Yeah, and so because of that, it's pretty much all first come, first serve, and so yeah, it worked out.
So overall, we had a pretty successful trip. There were some hiccups, as you'll see in the upcoming takes, but we did a total of 33 miles over the span of 2 days. So yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we're excited to show you.
So we just got to Usal Beach a little while ago and started our ascent out of the canyon. And this is the beginning of our first ever overnight. So how are you feeling?
Excited.
Yeah.
Nervous. Very nervous. Surrounded in a field of poison oak, so definitely gonna come back with some swells for sure.
Oh, I'm stuck. All right, so we're just about 4 miles in, and the trail is actually supposed to be up there, but you can see a giant mudslide took it out, and it's just been very slow going. We don't really know what's ahead. It's really beautiful, you can see it, pretty. There's nobody out here, but that's probably for a reason. So I think we are going to call it and run home with our tail between our legs. We are now on the north end of the Sinkion Wilderness instead of the south end, which we started at yesterday. We have not hiked here, we drove around. We got rejected a little bit yesterday. Well, we decided to turn back because we ran into a mudslide and just we were kind of running out of time, so we decided to call it a day. And then this morning decided that maybe we'll try it from this side, because I think this section of the trail is supposedly a little better.
We'll see. We'll be surprised.
So we're gonna give it a shot.
We're hopeful.
There is no flat on this trail.
No flat.
No flat. But it is beautiful. Hi. How you doing? So here we are at Bear Harbor. This is our turnaround point today. It's pretty nice, beautiful spot. There are camp sites here, but we have a big climb out tomorrow morning and we want to get home at a reasonable time. So we're gonna head back where we came and camp at Jones Beach. Alright, it's about 6:45. We just packed up our campsite and we're about to head out. How are you feeling?
Sore.
Sore, very sore, and cold.
Very cold.
Quite cold, a little wet,
Okay.
but off we go.
Off we go.
Last climb out, 9 miles.
9 miles.
So we just reached the trailhead after a good 8-mile run hike out from our campsite. Did about 3,000 feet, a little over 3,000 feet. So a lot of hiking, but
We were able to run the last 2.5 miles or so that was nice. But yeah, definitely a hard climb out of there, especially after yesterday. So.
yep. And it is windy and
cold.
chilly this
It's
morning.
really cold. I had
very
gloves
cold.
and I probably wore them most of the time, even
Yeah.
uphill. So
Yeah, I'm wearing sweatpants and a long sleeve, so.
it's been chilly.
Yep, but we made it. We did our out and back of the Lost Coast and pretty stoked.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Overall, we had a lot of fun. It was a pretty positive experience. As you saw in the initial footage, we definitely ran into some issues, but looking back, we're glad it happened because, you know, we learned a lot from that and we'll definitely take it forward into our future fast packing trips.
Yeah, that first day I think we got a later start than we were expecting, and kind of the bushwhacking and the overgrowth really slowed us down. And by the time we got to that mudslide, I think we were a little mentally exhausted from it not being exactly what we were anticipating, and we didn't really know how much longer it would take us to get to the camp. And with it being getting close to dark, we figured, you know, I think we just took the conservative approach of heading back to the car since we knew we could get there before dark. I think we would have been fine if we'd kept going. I think, you know, we definitely would have made it to camp, and then the rest of the trail I think was probably much nicer. But honestly, I think it might have been a blessing in disguise because the northern section that we did was awesome.
It was beautiful, and yeah, and it definitely made us excited to go back out there again, possibly do the section that we did turn back on, or go and do the northern section, which has, you know, been raved about by so many people. So yeah. So tune in next week because we're gonna do a third vlog on the gear that we use and just, you know, talk about our experience with that. So
yeah, I'll do a full kind of gear review of all the gear that we got and used on the trip, and can tell you what worked and what didn't. And yeah, excited to keep bringing you content.